Welcome everyone. Today we have a new Summoners build with the Frozen Mandibles. So those are the speedy ends. Yes, I had a lot of requests to look into the ends. I have finally made my transition from the snipers to those ends. I'm currently testing in a tier 16 map, and you can see the power of the ends with a 0 button build. So you can see that I only have 1 button, and 90% of the time we're not casting the pen ritual. So this is pretty much just a walkthrough build that clears everything on the map. And what you're noticing is our ends have a bit of melee cleave, which is great. I've been testing the ends for the boss version and also the mapping version. The mapping version comes with a melee cleave, and you can see I have over 14 ends. I could push for 15 ends, but it's a little overwhelming, as you can see. Usually like 1 or 2 ends is enough to mow down the normal monsters. Now, this is the first version of the build that prioritizes on doing more damage. I believe I have at least 4 million damage, close to 5 million damage after the buffs and also the reduction to armor. But 90% of the time, everything melts in one shot. And you can see the ends are pretty ridiculous. It's like an army of Ultralist. If you play StarCraft 2, you know the Ultralist, right? It feels like I'm running a Zerg build of Ultralist. I'm just rushing down enemies, and it's amazing. And what I want to show you guys is the power of the high damage, the Frozen End build or Frozen Mandibles build. My Frozen Mandibles are not super heavily geared. There's a lot of gearing potentials. I want to go through with you guys what is worth it for you to invest in higher damage for your specters. I've been doing research for the past few days looking into the gears and the choices of items. There are some items that is ridiculously expensive that might not be worth it, while there are other items that can be a very optional upgrade for your build, giving you additional spirit, additional minion level, and even higher damage or survivability. As you can see over here, that was a rare monster that was summoned, and yes, our ends do a massive radius wide AoE throws, and that can kind of shock a lot of other players in your party. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Yes, the ends are pretty crazy, and you can see I am pretty speedy. I'm currently using the 40% free movement speed boots with the socketed of the Luminous Gaze, and this gives us very decent movement speed. In the future videos, we'll go to 120% movement speed with the speedy ends and also haste aura, but I want to focus on high damage first. You may be wondering, how do we fare against, normal bosses? And let's have a look. So this is a map boss, and that was like 2 seconds. The map boss is gone. Now, I did test a number of variations for this build. I do want to show you guys that in certain mappings, especially in the bridge, the ends might not be the best to clear them compared to the snipers, if you have seen it before. So the same build, I'm going with the highest tier of the bridge over here, and just to show you guys the clear speed, you can see the ends are kind of blocking each other, and there's only a few of them can get onto the monsters at an instance. So having all 14 ends isn't really doing me a great benefit. I'm still clearing out the map super fast and monsters are dying, and we're pretty durable with Mind Over Matter. But you can see, unlike the snipers that shoot through the enemies that cross the board, the ends needs to get into melee range. That can be a little drawback if you have been playing the snipers. The ends are great with wide range mapping and when they can have coverage on the enemy, but when the narrow corridors comes in, they do take about 0.5 seconds longer to clear. Notice I have to wait for the ends to clear, then I move forward, and this does feel a little bit different compared to the snipers. But nevertheless, I think the ends are definitely one of the great meta build. That's why everybody wants to try it. I can see the reason behind it. And I used to hear the aggression for the ends is even stronger. I have a way of imbuing or increasing the aggression with my haste aura in the future build, which is this is a future plan. But you can see, we have no problems in map clear, we have no problem with the bosses, which I'll fast forward a little bit. Now I have been adjusting the skill gems a little bit, which we'll go through in the build adjustment. There are 3 variations, so Heavy Swing will allow us to have a little bit more damage but less attack speed, while on the other hand, I was using the Jew over here with this one. Can I show you guys over here? I think I moved it. Now I'll come over to my character. So I was using the 3 different choices. So I have Impact Shockwave, which is great for map clear because you pretty much have an aftershock and it gives you a melee cleave. And Heavy Swing gives us 35% more physical damage, but you lose 10% attack speed. Alternatively, I actually like to use Brutality against the boss, but during the testing replays, you can see I didn't use Brutality, so our damage is definitely a little lower, but I think you get the gist of the idea. So, rushing towards the boss, what you're going to see is the boss actually have a lot of damage reduction in the first few seconds, and it's important for us to get the pen ritual going, and I cast the pen ritual a little earlier. our ants swamped the boss down very quickly to half health, and then it took the boss down to stun range, and the boss is gone. So about less than 5 seconds, the ants was able to take down the boss. So very solid build, and I did even more testing. I'll show you guys all the gears, all the choice of the links, and all the current stats, the gears, the juice, the socketing, and everything related. I did a little more testing. I want to see if I can make a hybrid build. So here I have 10 snipers and also 12 ants. There isn't a massive difference. I'll go through with you guys the concept why would I have more snipers, because snipers are not as heavily scaling compared to the ants, but it is an alternative. You can see the build replay in action, and it is quite strong. So fast forwarding to the boss, and yes, this is a pretty much a 0-button build. 90% of the time, you don't have to press a button, but pressing pen offerings will double your team's damage, and also pretty much doubles your survivability by using the unique potion. So against the boss, I decided to not use pen offering, and you can see the speed of the clear. And once I use pen offering, let's have a look at over here. So I use pen offering, look at how fast the boss dies, and that was 2 of them. So very solid build, and I think we are onto some nice meta build now with the ants. Of course, I'm working towards making it better, making it stronger, and also adjusting. And yes guys, I did not buy the best gears this time because I want to be using my previous gears, but not the most broken gears. I'll show you guys what are the broken gears I talk about. So just to show you guys the damage over here, we're sitting on 18,000 damage coming from the frozen mandibles, and we'll call them ants. So if I cast my pen offering, I'm sitting at 316,000, and times this is about times 14, it is about over 4.5 million DPS with the ants. This is the bossing version, and if you want to go with the mapping version, I recommend using impact shockwave. Now heavy swing, the reduction to attack speed is not great, so I'm actually taking this away. So bossing version, brutality, because you go through the armor, and also mapping version, impact shockwave. And that is the biggest highlight for the build. We also have decent movement speed, because yes, we're running the annuimage gaze, and this gives us 40% movement speed, which is pretty big. Next video, we're gonna go with 120% movement speed for the ends. I think we can do it. So let's briefly go through the skill links, and yes guys, if you want to see all the links, everything related to this build, it is in the middle of the replays at the end of the video. You can see multiple runs testing using different gems and also weapon swaps. So what has changed? I am running as a companion, so I'm not running low life now. I'm sitting on 50% life, and you can see I am taking away with energy shield, but later we might go for this. So I always want a companion. Companion will give us 7% more damage because of mustard. A companion is a free unit pretty much. If I'm running Aurabot or maybe an Infernal Hound. So here we have Infernal Hound. And Infernal Hound will give us 7% more damage. It also provides me with 10% damage reduction combined with mid shield, and also blind, main, and also calling strike. So a lot of utility for this Hound. The Hound is also very durable. I believe the Hound has, okay, only 3,000 life, not that durable, but we have a lot of revival for the minions. Actually, no, the Hound has more life. Main weapon, the Hound has 40,000, yeah, there you go, 40,000 life. Oh no, 40,000. 4,000. Let's be very smart with 40,000 life. It's like, oh boy. So, over here, the reason I'm going to the second weapon swap to show you guys is because the first one, this one can be a little distracting because the ends goes crazy, and I'll take away the sound because this can be a little overwhelming. You can see the map. This is the little drawback, but it scares the hell out of your teammates. If you play with your teammates, the ends does that. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. But no, that's just the friendly fire, right? So, Skeleton Warriors, nothing has changed. We're going with Infernal Legion, Mustard, Essence Harvest, and also many instab ability. Basically, Essence Harvest give us more mana when they die. We're killing them every 2 seconds, reviving them, and giving us pretty much tons of mana regen for the Mind Over Mana passive. Sitting on 31 mana regen, but I can quickly cap to like 60, 80 mana regen, 78. So notice that I get a lot of free mana regen by killing all my minions. So that is for all the minions. That is not snipers and also not specters or not frozen ants. Our main source of damage is coming from the frozen mandibles, and yes, we're using Dallas Desire. Definitely a more expensive upgrade. If you do not have this one, I'll recommend just running the Impact Shockwave together with Brutality. And it's not that much of a loss, except for the Spirit Reservation reduction. So I think this one is definitely the ultimate endgame. If you don't have it, just go in here, you can see that I probably have to, how many? Oh, yes, I summoned 2 less ends, and that is the bigger difference here. I can probably summon 1 less end with a drawback. So this one have the 90% spirit reduction. This is why this Jew is so popular. We're going with Heft because it gives us maximum physical damage, together with Mustard, Feeding Frenzy, and also Brutality for bossing, and Shockwave for mapping. Skeleton Snipers. On my Skeleton Snipers are pretty high leveled, and they serve 2 purposes. They serve as alternative source of attack with Feeding Frenzy, Brutality, Mustard, Multi-Shot, and also Heft. They can be utility based, but the main reason I have the Skeleton Snipers is that I can use my pen offerings on them as well. So any minions to pen offer, right? So the pen offerings will take 2 snipers, and that perfectly sorts my balanced spirit. And this does mean that I'm sitting on 750 spirit, which I'll go through with you guys how come. Now, pen offering, very good skill. Prolonged Duration, Dense Macabre, Mini Mastery, Sacrificial Offering, and also Brutus Brain, so this never dies. Rest of the minions are the same. We're running Mini Instability to kill them, together with Infernal Legion. They die really fast, give us Evidence Shift, and also Master to have a little more damage, and also avoid any potential bugs of Master not working. And that is as many minions as we can summon. So this is one of the ways we can come over to 4.5 million DPS with the Ents. Now, there's definitely ways of scaling the Ents even further. Second part of the video, we're looking to some of the broken endgame gears. I was going to take the Ents to how many levels? I almost took them to level 40 as well, but then I realized, why would I spend like 800 divines, and you guys will be like, oh my gosh, Mesh, you're just showing off. Trying to show you guys what is the cheaper budget and what are the endgame gears at the same time, which is quite important. So coming over to gears, definitely don't need a 3 socket. 2 socket over here is enough. Just the 15 spirit difference over here. Getting the +1 on the helmet is great, so +3 over here. And as for the weapon, now the weapon, this one has a very big spirit, +4 levels and also increasing damage. So kind of everything I wanted. You can go with more attack speed, of course, and that will be great. I want to show you guys the potential of a stronger weapon, and I definitely could have bought it. I've been looking at it for a while. And if you come over to the trait filters I made for you guys, you can see this is search for level 5 minion skills together with spirit and also increasing presence of aura damage. Those are very powerful weapons that is actually centrified. So the only way to get to level 5 is to centrify your +4 minion weapon into +5. I'll make a video to teach you guys how to craft this as well. I'm planning to craft some to see if there's any profit in it. So let's say if you want a 40 minimum spirit, the prices definitely goes up. So 40 divines for this particular item, the biggest thing is +5 to minion skills instead of +4. But exactly how much damage would you gain for having +5 over here? And of course, my previous scepter is about 10 to 12 divine at the time. Maybe the price is much lower now, or maybe a little higher, I haven't checked. But you can see the first massive upgrade I could have had for the Spectres is to get them to +1 more level. Every +1 level will give you about 10 to 11% more damage. I did the actual calculation with my characters from level 33 to level 36 with Spectres. Every increase of level gives you about 10 to 11% more damage. And we'll talk about the rest after with the comparison to having different Jew sockets. So in terms of the weapon, +4 with a high spirit is definitely welcome. You don't have to go with +5, of course. Now, the chest piece, I went with a high spirit piece. I'm not going with the energy shield version of the meta build, so mine over meta is a little squishier, but we have ways of getting more mana, and this means I can afford some of the best increasing spirit on the chest piece. Similarly, my rings are focused on increasing spirit. You have 19 spirit over here, and also 19 spirit over here, with all resist and also maximum life. The reduced rarity, I just live with it. Now, amulet. This one is quite interesting. My previous amulet gives me +6 to snipers, because snipers are fire units. One of the reasons I have been reluctant to play the Spectres, not only because it's more expensive to get a meta amulet, but I also don't get a +6 level to the snipers. So notice snipers is level 34. I put this on, sniper goes level 36 because of the 2 level difference. So this particular amulet is also centrified and also made it to +4 instead of a level 3 minions. Now, this is quite interesting. Those are not super pricey, but they're quite pricey. Most players will go with a +3 and then go with the spirit. Notice both the spirit is over the maximum cap to 50 to 56, and this is a 3 to 4. And let me show you guys this. So what we want is, we want minion levels, +3 at least, and also spirit. Let me show you guys how I found this amulet, and if it is optional for you guys, let's have a look at the budgeting. So I'm gonna search a little wider filter. Let's have a look. Currently there are 20 listed. I bought mine for super cheap. It is around 20 to 30 divine when I bought mine. So notice what's wrong with mine. It does not have quality. It does not have anointment. Once it's sanctified, I do not believe I can still anoint it. So there's two drawbacks. This is why mine was kind of like a faulty one that sold for a discount. Mine does not have quality. It does not have anointment. All the other ones, when people are crafting those, it comes with anointment because I don't think you can change them. It also usually comes with 20% quality, which mine did not have. So if you want a spirit, you also want a +4 minion skills. They're selling for around 20 to 30 divines for the faulty ones like mine. They're selling for about 30 to 40 divines for the other good ones. And this, again, is an optional upgrade. Keep in mind, each minion level will give you 10% more damage. But would damage really matter? Because I'm going from 4 million to 4.4 million, and it is a big number though. So keep in mind. And in my previously, I had this amulet, so I thought it's fair to go with a +4 instead of +3. This is the only big upgrade I made into changing into this build. Cost me about 25 divine. Everything else was my old gears. The gloves come with a lot of resistance, chaos resist, and also a lot of stats I needed. Because I'm using so many unique items, I'm short of stats, especially the belt. One of the reasons we can summon 14 ends or even higher is because of this belt with the spirit reservation reduction. You get 100%, it is 24. 118, it is 26. We have a video, and even the Excel here shows you the breakpoint at 117, 109, 100. Those are the breakpoints you want for 24, 25, and also 26 spirit reservation. And you're socketing the helmet gems. I'm sure you guys know this. And for the boots, anything over 29% is good. I got the 37% quite early in the game. Definitely don't need to get 37% reservation. And it's a bit extreme. So movement speed is very good. 40% free movement speed. And if you look over here, I'm sitting on -4 and capped at 40. Excellent, right? Now, in terms of the Jew socketing, this is actually an interesting one. I kept my old Jew, which is great for any minion build because it has minion attack speed, minion casting speed, 1% spirit reservation, 1% spirit reservation, and 1%, and then 8%. So this is a really good Jew. I also have a friend who made an even better Jew. I gotta show you guys next. He's also planning to sell it. And I was saying that he could even sell for 1 divine. Not 1 divine, 1 mirror. So this one gives us tons of spirit reservation that allows us to summon more ants. The cost of me summoning ants is 52, so 44. It cost me 44 to summon those ants, and the ants originally cost 99. So we reduce the spirit cost by more than 50%, multiplicity. Here, in order to get over 750 spirit, we have the Against the Darkness Jew with 12% spirit per knot that is socketed. I'm a little under leveled. If I got higher levels, this 12 over here, and 12 over here, and 12 over here. So I can get even more spirit, but just don't have the points. So the other Jews, let's see. Now, previously I was using this Prison of Belief +3 to Skeleton Snipers. I bought this for 70 divine. It is around 120 divine, so definitely affordable. And this gives me 30% multiplicative increase of damage for the snipers. But of course, I'm not running the snipers anymore, right? So let me show you guys over here. This is when we have a little more calculation. I really don't want to buy into a super expensive build and just showcase how crazy the damage is, because if you look at the Prince of Belief with the meta summoner with Spectres, it is 440 divine. It was selling for 500 divine, but no one's buying them. I was like, who's gonna buy that? But some people do. They're quite rich. So the level 1, the +1 is selling for 40 divine. The +2 selling for 140. +3 selling for 440. Is that worth it? That's my question. I did some calculations. I don't think it's worth it. So what am I using? Are the 2 or 1 divine Jews. That gives me about 14% minion damage, minion attack speed, max capped, and minion critical chance. I'm using one over here as well. So, minion damage, minion increase damage, minion attack speed, minion critical. And yes, we're planning to make some of those juice with you guys in the future videos because there's a lot of potential in crafting with desecrated juice to get double rolls of minion damage. And these are very powerful juice. So, if I were to spend, here's a bit of budgeting for you guys. Didn't want to make the build super expensive, so did not buy those. I could afford it, but I just feel like a sucker for buying that for like 400 divines and showing off the damage, right? So did not buy this. 40 divine, and this is +1. If I were to put the 40 divine +1, I'll get the plus 10 to 11% more damage. But my Jew actually gives me about 6.5% damage just from the yellow Jew that costs 1 to 2 divine. This is a 38 divine difference. This is comparing with 1 divine, with the 1 +1. +2 is a little different because it's about 20%, right? So if you're just comparing the +1, the difference is about 4.4, 3.6, 4.2%. And this is because I have those Jews. So what I recommend is getting yourself some basic minion increase the damage, minion attack speed at 4, and also minion critical chance. That is good enough. You don't need to spend, 30, 40 divine for +1 or even 120 divine, 440 divine for +2. Those juice are definitely enough for 1 or 2 divines. I actually have the filter ready for you guys. See, there's a filter ready over here. I'll show you guys the pricing. 1 divine. And you can search for the highest minion damage. Let's filter this in a little bit. Let's go 14, 4, say 2 divine. So 2 divine is 6.5% increase of damage, while 40 divine is a 10% increase of damage. So that's why I didn't go for those. Too pricey. And no need to show off like ridiculous. I'm already doing 4.5 million DPS, right? Now, as we keep going, this is the next choice. If you do have some spare divines, you do want to get into an item that gives you plus skill rank to +4 on the amulet, +5 on the weapon, and the last option is when you go for those diamonds. This is for the highest ceiling build. Before that, aim to have spirit reduction on the helmet, spirit reduction on the belt, spirit reduction on the boots, and finally getting your spirit reduction on the Jew. This Jew is super cheap to make if you follow my guide videos. I have taught you guys how to check the seed for some of the incredible ×3 spirit reservation and also attack speed, and also how to craft the 8% over here. So make sure you check the previous guide in the links below to craft this one yourself. For this one, you just buy one that is not maximum rolled at 12, maybe buy one that's lower, that's much cheaper, then just divine it. Easy to divine it, with about 5 divines you get to 12%, or 12. So that summarizes the highlight for the build in terms of the spirit part. Potion over here is very good. I talked about this before. I cast a potion, I drink the potion, we get some free guard. Not as much guard because I have too much life. Now, what are we up to? Okay, let's talk about build rotations. So, build rotation is actually very simple. So you can see this is a tier 16 map, decently modified. I try to not have an easy map, just like not crazy map, not temporal chance, not some slow force ground, some burning ground I can still cope with it. I don't like the too much slow, temporal chance and also frozen ground. So the build is very self-explanatory. As long as you're moving forward, your minion will follow you. You can command them forward as well with a minion command key, but that's not much needed. You just have to make sure that you are durable enough to not die, and then just walking forward, there's no button needed, but you can press your button and cast your pen offering, which not only increases your minion's damage, but also allows you to drink your unique potion for additional guard. Now, in this time, what I do want to highlight is, because we're constantly killing the rest of the minions, the only minion you can sacrifice are the skeleton snipers. Snipers tend to stay a little back, so what you want to do is, you want to kind of stand on top of the boss when the sniper is next to your ends, then you cast a pen offering. So notice this covers the entire radius, and this means everyone gets attack bonus. And attack bonus is no joke. So from 18,000, 840,000, over here we come over to 316,000 damage. And I think that highlights everything. future videos, definitely looking into changing those boots, going 120% movement speed, and also having the aura bot minion to have even haste and also stronger shock. So stay tuned for the future videos and let me know in the comments, what do you think of my take on the frozen Mandibles? And I think they're very good. I just have to walk around in the map and everything dies. The movement speed is a little bit lower because I prioritize on doing a lot more damage, but then I don't think I need that many ends. Because you see, their corridors, they don't even fit. They're like, just like StarCraft, StarCraft 2, when you have Ultralisk, they're too bulky and they're clunky. The narrow corridors are not great for us. But very, very fun build, so make sure you watch the last part of the replay to see everything related to this build and all the details and testing in multiple maps. Now, hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters, and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Majestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day, and this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos.
Is my power to wield.
Darkness descends, and with it your end. The mists remain.
is my power to wield. Insolent wretch! Now! None can oppose me.
Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is gonna be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.